Hello there, guys. I hope everybody's doing well, and it is time. How you doing, Bull? How's your day?
Hey, doing good, Pedro. How you doing today?
Doing good, man. Doing really good. Let's jump right into this real quick. Let's go over the disclaimer stuff, and then we will move forward. Um, the information provided in this video and website and live stream does not constitute as investment advice, financial advice, trading advice, or any other sort of advice, and should not be treated and should not be treat any other videos and websites content as such. I, Moonrock Coin, and guests do not recommend. Oh snaps! Give me 1 second.
Well, you see
Yeah,
the
my
trade
bad.
there?
Sorry, I had a little little back feed. Let me go into this. Finish this up real quick. Moonrock guests do not recommend that any cryptocurrencies or any other assets that are mentioned should be bought, sold, held by the viewers or listeners. Do conduct your own due diligence and consult your financial advisor before making any investment decisions. I am not a financial advisor. This content is only meant for entertainment purposes. Please consult a tax professional on any gains or losses as a result of investing into crypto or any assets invested in. This is not financial advice, but it is only for entertainment and educational purposes only. All right, that's it. So, so how you doing, my friend? What's going on?
Yeah, doing good. Just watching the markets here. Doing some various activities in crypto. What do you got going on over there today?
Not much. We're actually bringing Brinks on as well today as well. So we're going to be going over also a little bit of news regarding some micro coins and some of his stuff that he's bringing in. We're going to go over some new stuff here real quick for everybody, and then go into the markets. Real quick, we do a quick recap of what's going on with crypto. If you want to say hi, Brinks, holler at the people.
Hey guys.
Hey.
How's it going, Briggs?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Yeah, doing great, man. Glad to have you on.
Glad to be here.
All right, guys. Bitcoin BTC sitting at 20,000. It is up 1%. We had a little bit of a sell-off yesterday. Ethereum sitting at 1,562, not 15,000. Down 2%, or excuse me, up 2%. Bitcoin up 1.3%. BNB sitting at 282, up 0.54%. We have XRP sitting at 32 cents, 80.83% up. Cardano sitting at 45 cents, sitting at 2.6% up for the day. Solana sitting at $32, up 2.41% for the day. Dogecoin sitting at 6.2 or 6.062% or 0.62 cents, up 0.38% for the day. DOT sitting at $7 and is up 1.12 for the day. Matic is sitting at 82 cents and it is up 3.80%. And last but not least, Shiba Inu sitting at 0.00001219 at 0.22% up for the day. So how is everyone doing, man? Are things doing well?
Yeah, man. Feeling pretty good. I think markets are holding right now. I know there's a lot of different news and analysis to look at there, but yeah, I think overall, man, doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm definitely more bearish, just because some of the news that are coming out, and just like we're the best worst situation. When it comes to America and the whole entire economic situation, I feel like we are the best worst case out there.
Listen, it's not that big of a deal that the Eurozone reported their highest ever inflation number, Pedro. Okay.
Oh, it's not that big of a deal. It's Italy at 9%. You know, ever the hugest inflation situation ever. That we don't need to talk about that. Nah, it's overrated.
Don't you know though that the government's gonna pay off somebody's student loans who aren't mine though? Doesn't that make you feel better?
Makes me feel really, really, really good.
For full disclosure, I paid all mine off. So
Yeah.
guess I should have waited, you know?
Should have waited, man. Shoot, free money. And it's not like that free money is going to be doing anything to our economy too and causing more inflation.
Yeah.
Or am I misunderstanding that way? I don't get this.
You are, Pedro. See, what you're
Oh, wait.
doing is you're involving thought into the process, and that's not going to be helpful to you. All right?
I know, right? Like that. I apologize. That is, yeah. Let's not use common sense to run the world. Yeah, that would be, for lack of a better word, smart. No, wait, silly. That'd be silly.
Now, here's the thing, though: are the markets going to react like they have for a long, long time, where bad news is good news and good news is bad news, or is the Fed moving us from that cycle where they're going to raise the rates regardless? But if you remember, for a long, long time, bad news was good news. You got a bad report out, you better buy some stocks today because it is moving up. And so I mean, I don't know. I think we're maybe disconnecting from that, but I'm not convinced that we're fully disconnected from that.
Well, I think you hit a good point, and this is something that I have I think about, right? Like when you had free money coming into the economy, and the Fed was just throwing cash into large institutions. I mean, just literally saying, "Hey, keep the liquidity in the market." It had a reverse effect, right? I think because of that. I don't know, and I can't sit there and say yes or no, right? Because we're still in that equilibrium. Remember, I always say tops and bottoms are always hard to call, right? Simply because it's like you just don't know. And I feel like right now, especially, I mean, we've never seen this type of time in history, right? Where cryptocurrency like this, it's always been gold, right? Gold has always been the standard. And so cryptocurrency is definitely holding a new line in the sand. I was talking about that a little bit with on the show yesterday. And so when I was going over some of the chart analysis, so it's really interesting to sit there and gauge gold, silver, and it playing a role as in like an economic stability, because it can, but now that cryptocurrencies have been put into place, and I mean, like I'll look at it like this. Like when I think of Ethereum, I don't think it as a value holding system. I think of Bitcoin as that. But Ethereum is more of basically one giant computer, right? If you really consider what it really is, it's one giant computer that people are writing code and going through and creating apps and one huge thing. And it's actually a beautiful thing. So it's just this weird connection. It's just weird. I don't know how to really gauge whether the news are going to be good or bad. Only time will tell, I think. I'm just being honest. What are your thoughts, Brinks?
Thoughts on Bitcoin and Ethereum, or?
Oh no, news. News, like, because in the past the news have basically caused the market. If it was good news, the market would typically go down.
Like the Federal Reserve type stuff.
Yeah, Federal Reserve. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah.
From everybody that I follow, they all say that it kind of depends on what the Fed what the news with the Fed and I think macroeconomics are.
Got it.
So I'm not fully sure because we're also because like the bear market started right around the same time that started, but at the same time people were projecting it last fall that by February March the bear market was going to start because of the Bitcoin cycle. So it's really hard to say. It is possible that it's more just like a psychological thing because people are just kept conditioned to get out of risk on assets when the Federal Reserve has bad news. in my opinion. I think it's more of a psychological thing, just like how you mentioned to me a while ago that like the SMAs are mostly based off psychological support and resistance. Unless a whale just feels like manipulating the market and just dump something or just like pump something.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. It's
So I
interesting.
think there is a lot of manipulation going on, but by
No. What are you talking about? Manipulation?
yeah.
I don't. Bull, do you think there's manipulation? I mean, the fact that Dick Kramer has now come out and said, literally, and end quote, the Fed is telling you to sell the crypto and the NFTs and the IPOS and the SPACs. I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry. Before it takes your life savings, no more nonsense. So
Yeah, it's pretty
if
clear. They're saying keep playing the damn game we're winning at and stop doing these other things that are making you money. That's what they're telling you. Get back to doing the thing we can control the best.
So
Yeah, because like I remember the 2018 bear cycle started. I wasn't in crypto back then, but like they were doing the same thing. They're like Bitcoin's dead. It dropped from 20,000 down to like 6,000. Bitcoin's completely dead. It was just in a giant bubble. This and that.
yeah,
And now
that's what it is.
then like people that were smart enough to buy that huge dip in dollar cost average ended up being pretty well off in 2020 2021.
Even now,
10 years ago today, the price of Bitcoin was $9.55. So, should you buy it low when you can? Sometimes it pays off.
Mm-hmm.
sometimes.
But none of this is financial advice.
Yeah,
Obviously.
all
100%.
guests and
Page
all of
over
this
the
right here is you
disclaimer
can see.
again.
Yeah, we already did the disclaimer.
Oh,
So this includes all of Moonrock guests and co-hosts. I'm gonna put co-hosts as well.
Now, I'll tell you what I thought was pretty interesting was that they got Ted Cruz on there talking about touring the largest Bitcoin mining facility there in Texas, I guess, and just really, really standing behind crypto. So that was pretty strong. I don't know if you saw that or not.
No, I didn't. What's his what is he pro or is he still making up his mind?
I mean, it appears to be pro. He's definitely pro business. And he's pro freedom per se. So. I mean, those things both tie into what cryptocurrencies are. And if you know or not, I mean, there's a lot of mining operations in Texas. So let me go read it again to see if it was the largest one. Give me 1 second here.
And while we're at that, I want to bring up, so jumping back up, we mentioned a news article about the two women who actually had 10.5 million deposited into their bank account. So I went and researched because this was so intriguing to me. So their blunder, Crypto.com's blunder was back in May of 21. They discovered it in December of 21. And so now they've been trying to pull it back. And I sit there and listen, when they saw that, this couple saw that, not couple, but these two girls, they went out, they bought themselves they bought a bunch of luxurious things, they actually were kind of smart. They bought a really good house, right? They bought some really good stuff with that money. And so now Crypto.com has said, we want it back. But I was listening to the Decrypt Daily show, and he brought up a very good point. In crypto, so many of us have gotten robbed, our money taken, and we're talking, what was it? The Fed says it was $3.1 billion have been stolen or hacked. or rug pulled from people in DeFi as well as and that's this year, so far, 3.1 billion. I almost feel like, and this is like the world is balancing itself out, and this is what Decrypt talks about. So I almost feel like I kind of like the fact that they did that. Like, I don't know. I know Mike would have given that money back, but I like the fact that they did what they did. So, anyways.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. Basically you're saying the exchanges, had it taken from them that time, supposed to everyone else. But yeah, the problem they're going to have, I imagine, is that, I'm pretty sure they'll end up losing that. So, I don't know. Hopefully their house value shot up and they can sell it and still be in a profit and buy another one, a much crappier one, But so,
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
But still have a little profit. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough situation there. And it's a long time. I imagine a lot of that money has been spent at this point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of it. So, I mean, I don't know if I would or not. I don't know. I mean, I'll probably never be in that situation with $10.5 million just being handed to my bank account mistakenly. So,
yeah, I mean, if that happened, you could just argue you mistakenly spent a lot of it as well. Like, everyone's making mistakes here, Judge. They mistakenly put it in my account. I mistakenly kept spending it, and I got a whole shoebox full of IOUs for the money, and they're all right here. And here you go. So
yeah. Well, and I'm pretty sure they bought the houses outright, right? Like, they probably bought everything outright with the cash. So
no, they're really smart. They definitely, hopefully, put them in other people's names, and that's going to be the way to go. So
that will be nuts. That and gave it in as a gift. Well, this is a gift to them, and what are they going to say? They'll be like, "Well, I mean, that's actually really smart." Anyway, so you were about to bring up another article.
I was just referencing that Bitcoin mining facility in Texas. It's the largest one in North America, and Senator Ted Cruz of Texas was touring it and just essentially touting the praises of what they have going on down there. So that's good news. I mean, not that that one voice can dictate legislation and all that, but it's still generally positive to hear good voices out there talking about any crypto stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think also to bring up another thing. So from the lows of Ethereum of 2022, it has shot up 60%, which is pretty good. Comparative to Bitcoin, which is only from its lows gone up 8%. So many of you guys know that I've been talking about that differential in Bitcoin versus Ethereum on the charting. And so I had to find out how far that's actually shot up. So it's pretty interesting to sit there and see what's actually going on, and is Ethereum taking over, right? Like I don't know. We'll find out. I mean, I wish Jim Cramer would come out and say, Ethereum is gonna go down, like it's never gonna come. Then I'm gonna be like, all right, it's definitely moving up. So I mean. The contrary.
There is a Cramer buy signal. I think you referenced the story, but he is out there right now saying to avoid all speculative currencies, especially crypto. Yeah. So
I thought I saw something yesterday where he was saying that he's buying crypto now.
But I'm sure he is.
Yeah. So, pretty sure he is. But he's telling his followers sell. So
no. I mean, I thought that he said that he's buying it, but like the opposite of what Bull said. I thought somebody shared that with me. But like last week, and then all of a sudden, like the next day, the market starts selling off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that's about right.
But Pedro, you sure called the market crash last Sunday.
Yeah. And I mean, if you guys want to go look at those videos, those are, I do, you can check them out and see certain things that are happening in the market and what we see. How I'm looking at, and I know I talk pretty basic in regards to some of the stuff on the trading that I do, but like I always celebrate, if you want to learn what I know, there's a guy, Chris Koopman. He's on Twitter as Easy Money 2050. Go check him out. Tell him Pedro sent you. And if he does not look for traders, or he does not look for students. He's not a guru that you're going to see pop up on your Facebook or on your Twitter account. He doesn't look for students. He's by referral only. So only referral from his students is really what he'll take. He doesn't cost a lot of money. He's real cheap. But he does yell at you. He will scream at you if you don't listen to him. I'm not joking. That is complete serious. He's a drill sergeant. For him to take time to teach you, he's taking time away from his trading. So he'll scream at you because he gets frustrated because you're not listening to him. So that's in a nutshell. Boom. There you go. Oh, next story I want to talk about, which I think is really crazy. Helium, right? Like we all know that what got me into crypto was helium, right? Dude, they're moving to Solana network, which I find completely crazy because of the vastness and the DApps, the NFT, and my thing is Solana, and again I'm actually pulling this because it's a great idea. The Decrypt video here, or I'm gonna post this article here from the Decrypt, but it's a very interesting thought. Is that if one very decentralized organization goes to a less decentralized organization, blockchain, will it mess up the coding, and will certain things get kind of jacked up? I just think that's real interesting what's happening there, because I really still dig off of HNT and what they're doing as a blockchain, and basically how they're trying to decentralize wireless. So
yeah, that is pretty interesting because the Solana network has had multiple issues. So be interested to see how that all works out. For people who don't know out there, maybe give a real brief description of how that helium works there.
Yeah. So basically what helium does is they're creating a decentralized node system where its miners will get paid every time an IoT network or a Internet of Things network, microchip or device goes through a node, goes through a miner. They get paid in HNT, and so basically you make money by you make HNT by just driverless cars or not even driverless cars, but also there's just a lot of things that use IoT. Those little scooters, right? That drive around in major cities. Actually, now I'm starting to see them in a smaller town over here, down by the store. It's crazy. I'm like, holy moly, somebody's making money off of this. You take them, you people who maybe are less fortunate or just don't want to, carry their bag to their grocery store or to their, I don't know, their car. They can pile their stuff in there and just, and that's it. And then somebody comes along and brings it back. So I think it's really interesting. But that's what the HNT network is. It's basically a wireless network that is quantifying and allowing people to get paid off of cellular networks. They're going to branch out into cells, cellular network, also TV network, and a couple other things that they're really developing. So I really respect them. If there's something you can go look at HNT. Their white paper is pretty dope. And they're doing some good stuff. That migration will be voted and on September 12th too, so you can go check them out. It's actually pretty dope. Go ahead. What's your next one, bud?
I just want to point out with that first, that's going to be pretty interesting to see how that all works out there. I'll be honest with you. I guess they've done the research, so maybe some of those issues have been addressed and fixed. You'd hope so, because that would take down their whole network then.
Yeah. I really hope that they've done a lot of the stuff, and I have some HNT, so hopefully, I actually
Now, are
bought it through.
you an HNT whale, Pedro, or what?
Far from it. Far from it. I actually bought them because that's actually what got me into crypto. So I actually bought them on a central exchange, which is funny. I don't even have anything. I maybe have maybe $200 worth. It isn't anything worthy of to say whoa, but it is pretty interesting though. So yeah, I do like though what they're doing, and I think I'm waiting for it to develop a little bit more, um, and we'll see what happens there. Um, have you been looking at what the U.S. Congress committee is probing Coinbase, FTX, and Binance on fraud prevention? Have you seen this?
No, I may have seen a headline on it. I didn't dig into any of that. Makes sense, though. I mean, you need to have oversights on that.
Yeah, it's been
What's
really
it saying exactly?
well. Basically, there's 5 questions that they sent out to a lot of these, like FTX, Binance, Coinbase, and they said, listen, you need to have these here are 5 questions that we want you to take care of. And they've been basically just going through and said you need to follow these and kind of go from there. It's kind of like a little further probe into some of the things that they're going to do. Was it 4 months ago when they had the House committee meet together, and Biden was talking about, as well as a few other people talking about, this needs to be oversight, and he put together the bill. Well, this is just more of that bill being pushed and now starting to be implemented. So this is real interesting to see what's going on with it.
Yeah, I guess the evolution and all that's going to be moving forward. I think like I said, I think it makes sense to have those general guidelines in there. I know on CNBC this morning, Kramer was actually talking about that. I think he was saying Robinhood was saying that they were more stringent on the cryptos that were available through them than Coinbase. So, I don't know. Ultimately, anybody in the crypto space knows that, if they are looking at regulations and all that, that protecting people from the scammers is definitely going to be components included in that, and necessarily so to be able to do that. So that doesn't surprise me at all. I think pretty basic guidelines can be put in place where crypto can coexist. I mean, just the projects have to have correct codes, and also docs teams, and that eliminates a lot of it right there.
It really does. I think it's one of the things I think that's so overlooked, right? It's just the fact is that it's simple. Know where you can find these people if something happens. Go visit them. I think many of these coins should, because they're not listing one every single week. Maybe they list something maybe once a month, right? So you can go through. I would go visit these teams. Pay to go visit these teams, get to know them, like sit there, like, that's what hedge funds do. Hedge funds will go to the business, right? Check out, go out to dinner and see face to face these people that they want to invest in it. And it's pretty much what Coinbase is doing, right? Like you just don't, and there's a lot of that hit and miss. You don't see that happening with Coinbase or many of these other. They just kind of check out the white paper and stuff like that. But even like you said, like even you can fake, certain things regarding, you being doxxed in traditional crypto.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely get somebody to docs for you, So, but I think moving forward through regulation for projects that'll be listed on exchanges available in the U.S. at least, they'll end up with pretty good guidelines, which will generally protect people. I don't think it will allow people to capture the 100x, 1000x gains that they're looking for, but it will at least allow them to make something and overall protect the their money from going to nothing.
I would agree. Yeah, at least would help with that. Are you familiar with what's going on with Paraguay? I always mess that up.
Paraguay?
Paraguay. Yes.
No,
Paraguay.
what's happening? What's happening there?
Yeah, the president, Mauricio. Forgive me, I know I'm horrible at these names. Abdulo or Abdo. Forgive me. Basically voted a bill regulating crypto mining and trading, citing basically that there's counter arguments made by the South American um, countries that it's like energy, this consumption of it, and then the authority and central banks are basically like tapping in, saying, "Hey, we need to stop." Like it's almost like the central banks are coming in and starting to put their hands in and saying, "Stop!" Like the ones who have major debt with them, the ones who have exorbitant, they basically rely on the central banks, big time. And so the banks, I feel like, are coming in going, "You need to stop." And part of me almost feels like the reason why they're doing that is simply the U.S. Or the central banks feel like they're losing their grasp, right? And part of me feels like when these banks or when these countries go on, they start buying and accepting crypto down in South America, they're pushing up these prices, right? They're pushing up these prices and for the actual coin, and then that basically changes the that message. I think the central banks they want to get into crypto, that they're trying to buy at these prices, but they're trying to push it down even further. So I just think that's interesting.
I think so too.
I'm gonna put this link here as well
because they're scared of their system.
Oh, what were you saying, Bill? No, and I hear you, Brinks. Mike, what'd you say?
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I was going to let Brinks talk. Yeah, I was just going to mention the last bit of news I was going to say was just that El Salvador got a couple $100 million in infrastructure investments for Bitcoin Beach, so that's pretty big right there. Obviously, you got to lay the infrastructure to be able to develop everything on top of it. So looks like all that is progressing forward for them.
And you said Bitcoin Beach?
Yeah, Bitcoin Beach in El Salvador.
So you're telling me that I can go to a beach and spend my crypto there?
There are great plans for Bitcoin Beach. Definitely advise you to Google it, research it, and it's kind of the cornerstone of the El Salvador experiment with crypto there to become a hub of it. In addition to obviously them accepting it within their national currency system. So it just shows it's being progressed along. Someone's willing to dump a couple $100 million into it in addition to everything else. So pretty big step for them, I would say.
Pretty nice. I know they also want to come out with Bitcoin City, right, as well?
So Bitcoin Beach is
part of Bitcoin City.
Yeah, that is El Salvador's thing is Bitcoin Beach right there. So that's the big thing that they're doing down there.
Wow, that's a big deal.
Now, I'll tell you, I would like to hear Brinks. I don't know if we want to give a shout out to a couple of the projects he works on, but be interested to get any news. I know you guys had a big launch over there with Skylabs. How's everything going for you guys?
I haven't looked at the chart today, but so far over the last 2 days, I got about 1/16 of my initial investment back in tokens from staking. About 90% of my tokens so far. I know some people actually, but like some of the people that staked a lot of tokens ended up making like 4 times the amount of my initial investment in staking so far. I think they have about 69% of the total supply locked between vesting and staking right now as well, but which is pretty crazy.
You know what brings
I saw Pedro's facial expression when I said 69%. He just like blew up. He's like,
you know,
You
I'm,
got to
I'm
say,
gonna
dude,
check.
when you do it.
huh?
You got to say, dude. 69, dude. Nobody, never mind.
69, dude.
Sorry,
Oh,
nobody
it
remembers.
wasn't. It was just because it was 69. You wouldn't have had that reaction if I said 68 or 70.
No. And the reason why I said it is because there's a movie, an old 80s movie, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and they used to say 69, dude. And when I was a kid, I didn't even understand what they were talking
The
about.
reference.
Yeah, but now every time I hear that, I always think about them, and it was always they like, bro, like, anyways, it has nothing to do with anything inappropriate. But that was why. I'm sorry. Go ahead with my friends. What you were saying.
I think Bull was about to say something.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say. I know I've been checking that staking platform, and I saw it as high as over in the 80% last night. I don't know if that's the way they calculate it, if the numbers in circulation are shifting or something as far as just what's staked or unlocked. But I saw it up into the 80s. I just checked though; it's in the 60s right now. Yeah, definitely big numbers.
Yeah, I was talking with one of the developers the other night that they had to push an update because like there was a little bit of a bug where the staking was like doing was looking at the wrong portion of the supply or something. Right now,
Oh,
the
okay.
holder list but might not even be accurate on BSC scan because a lot of the whales actually staked all of their tokens, and but by staking you're locking your tokens into a smart contract, so their tokens are actually no longer in your wallet, so people that didn't leave like a few hundred tokens or like anything at all in their wallet aren't even seen by BSC scan as well.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because like even though they can't control the wallet, that the tokens are locked in the contract, but for and they can claim them after their tokens unlock. The BSC scan doesn't see any tokens in their wallet, so they actually don't get counted in the holder list.
Yeah, and I bet you there's a lot of people like that. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, because I was in the private sale, so I've been talking with some of the people that were in the private sale, which is how I know that there's people that actually got bigger staking rewards than my entire bag so far. But like the top staker, well, she actually had she got pushed down because as people were like buying dips and getting rewards. People actually ended up getting above her, but like right at launch, she had she had the number one rank on the leaderboard for biggest staker, and she told me that she had like over 4 million tokens in the first claim in like 30 minutes.
That is crazy.
Yeah. But the launch didn't go as crazy as I thought it did, but it wasn't meant to be a pump and dump type project. But like I expected a little bit more volume, but in a way it's better to have a more stable growth, in my opinion.
I
and
think,
not be attracted to all the pump and dumpers for the longevity of the project.
I think starting at the higher market cap may have moved some of the pump and dumpers out of it per se.
Hmm.
So, they know to get, a quick 50x if you're starting at 9 million is going to be a lot harder than if you're starting at 90,000, So,
Exactly.
but yeah, no, I think with the amount staked on it, if I understand it correctly, there's millions of dollars in marketing funds available. It seems to have a bright future on it, man. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So I can actually tell you about how many people are in the 1 year lock packages. But and these people chose to do it. So 238 people chose the Zeus package, which was a 1 year lock on 10 million tokens. But like in the typical shitcoin market, that's not really a lot. But with current price, that's a pretty big size bag. What's the price right now, Pedro? 3046.
Yeah, 3046 price. I honestly, I don't even, I should probably even say this on. I was just looking.
Yeah, Brinks, I saw that 16
Yeah.
BNB give or take for 10 million tokens.
Yeah.
What was that?
16 BNB for 10 million tokens, so pretty sizable.
Yeah. Then there's 230 people in the 5 million token package. 479 people in the Hercules package, which is 1 million tokens for a year. 362 people in the 500 package for a year. And 437 people in the 100,000 package for a year. And most of those packages are people that are whales because like in the 10 million package, you can't do more or less. You need exactly 10 million tokens. So the ones that wanted to really maximize their allocations diversified into pretty much all of the 1 year packages.
Yeah, no, I'm impressed by, obviously there's a strong community there that believes in the project, wants to hold the floor, and is willing to, put their money where their mouth is and stake it away for a year at large sums there. So, yeah, I'll tell you, with the amount staked, I mean, you really could expect to see that price really continue upwards, just with that amount of supply. That's just going to be sitting there. Definitely. Yeah, pretty impressive, as I said. So,
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see how Monday and Tuesday look. Just because, but by Monday the 7-day lockups get people will be able to unlock their tokens. So there might be a little bit added sell pressure, but the people that are like me that just chose those because like that just to be able to free their tokens just in case a bit bigger package ends up coming out in like 2-3 months. I just didn't want all my tokens locked for a year. So people that just chose it for that or so that they have like the badge saying I was here the first week type bragging rights.
yeah.
Will most likely remain locked because once something's unlocked,
Yeah.
you're pretty much able to get grandfathered into that package if you choose to.
It's
Well,
interesting
listen,
to see.
guys, I'm gonna have to jump off here. I have something to do right at noon today, but I appreciate you going over that, Brinks. I do wish you well with that. I see Josh hopped on, so I'll say hi, bye to Josh here at the same time, and I look forward to being out here tomorrow with you, Pedro. Okay.
Brother, we'll see you soon. Have a blessed day, my friend.
Thanks,
Talk
guys.
to
I'm
you
Bible.
Have a good day, guys.
You too.
Hey, Josh, how you doing, brother? Things are well?
Doing pretty good. Just at work, doing my thing.
Nice. So have you all been paying attention to the crypto news at all? Have you guys been kind of perusing through and checking things out?
Yep, I've been catching up on all my podcasts and what have you. So I'm still about a week behind on news, except for the viral photos of Vitalik floating around. I know that's happening. It's a hard situation for sure.
Oh.
Is that too much? I think that was pretty solid. I keeping it family.
Go ahead.
It's a long road for him to take, but I don't. How many different ways can I put this?
So sorry. Oh.
Hopefully, it's not any indication of the market going down.
Oh, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't mind. People are afraid. Look, at the market's going to go down, and I get it, right? But look, in 10, 15 years, when we look back, if we're going to sit there and say, man, this was one of the greatest opportunities. I mean, you're going to wish that you were able to buy. And honestly, the longer the time that we're at these places and these, you just means you're able to save more money, put money into it, right? So it's not a bad thing. I mean, let me point out here real quick, right? Like, this for Vetter, right? I like Vetter. I have Vetter. Okay, I bought Vetter. Unfortunately, up in to my dismay, because I got too caught up in the
Because
hype.
I'm an idiot.
Don't. First of all, please don't ever call yourself an idiot, because you're not. You are brilliant. All right.
True,
And,
but I just thought I just thought that it was just never going to come down because of its utility, and I was just wrong, and I got you to jump into the FOMO.
it's all good. And I was even saying, I remember saying, like, bro, but it's probably going to come down to here.
Yeah.
And you're like, there's no way. And I was like, because it started rallying up, and I said, no, it didn't come and touch my zone. It's going to come and touch it. And and you're like, no, probably not, dude. And so I was like, all right, okay. So I bought up in this area here, and it's made a descent down to my area that I thought it was going to come. So
but
now,
the craziest thing is it never fell below a 3x from pre-sale, which is awesome.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, listen, I like Vetter. I think Vetter is a solid project. I think overall they are, like, in 5-10 years from now, when this is sitting at literally, 50 cents. I know it sounds crazy. You're like, wait, what? 50 cents? But I really do think that this is a $500 million project. This is probably $1 billion project. This is something that will, explode. And these prices here, you're fighting, when they're sitting at, $5-10 million. But when everybody and their mama wants to learn about crypto, and a safe place and an IDO that they could be a part of is Vetter, Sky Labs, right? And Vetter, I think that's going to change just the market overall in general, right? So,
did I tell you about how they got like heavily attacked on Sunday when they were doing the pre-sale?
Oh yeah, you did, yeah. Go ahead though.
Yeah, like they were getting DDoS attacked extremely hard, but like the dev was like saying, but was literally like the website was literally struggling to load for people because of how hard they were getting hit by the DDoS attack. So like the dev actually taught people and told them, if you guys can't load the page, just send it direct to the pre-sale link, so you're able to get into it. And literally even through a DDoS attack, 30 seconds into the pre-sale opening to whitelist to it filled up, which was just crazy. And then on top of that they were getting that they were like avoiding snipers. Like they had a very strategic anti-bot plan, because what they ended up doing was they ended up having fake tokens called VSL, and they never shared it with us until after they finished it, and they were just like having these pro snipers that were like chasing the VSL token, just like buy into, but like they were just having them buy like fake tokens for a couple of hours, and then they eventually came out and they're like, oh okay, but we just got the majority of the snipers off our tail. So we'll be good to launch tomorrow. And I think there may be a bit only like one sniper that was able to get in on the launch on Monday.
Oh, okay. That's actually...
But they had a lot of major snipers. Like these snipers had like over 900 BNB stockpiled. And ready to just snipe.
Oh, snipers, they will snipe. But they're trying to make a buck. Get it while you can now, because I know once really the SEC really starts stepping in and they really start to lock down a lot of. I mean, FBI is literally talking about how DeFi projects need to start having. And let me make sure. They basically said that from because we all know DeFi is dangerous, right? Like it's not a joke, right?
It's the Wild West.
Yeah, it really is, and they'll take that money.
The digital zoo.
The digital zoo. Yeah, I love that. Just did it. Right, it's nuts. But the FBI is basically telling
digital jungle, not zoo.
So I got you. I know what you're saying. Digital jungle. I got you. The FBI are telling basically DeFi projects to basically shore up the weak open source code that can be hacked easily, and to establish real-time analytics and monitoring to prevent hacks and attacks. I mean, this is the FBI telling, like, listen, if you're America, and I think, with, what is it? And I think, I hope I don't mess this.
What's the FBI telling them to do?
Well, so Interpol, right, is basically like Europe's, like kind of like FBI, not really, but they kind of, they handle stuff. And I could see them working with, the FBI and going after these major people. Like, I mean, the founder of the Turkish crypto exchange, was it Thodex? Basically was arrested in Albania, right? And he's being totally just, that's one place I don't want to get caught up, right? I'd rather be caught up in America if I'm going to do something stupid than in a Muslim country, because a Muslim country, they ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? They're going to take you out and say, hello, how you doing? Here's our thumb. Here's your face, right? Like, boom. So
here's our thumb. Here's your something else. Boom.
Yeah.
They'd never be able to stop Vitalik. He'd push back big time.
Vitalik is a totally different story. Did you see those memes going on about his?
Yeah, no, I love it. They're hilarious.
I haven't
Brinks.
seen any. Pedro, you gotta send me some at some point.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna say, just send him the
Twitter.
photo. If you just Google the recent photo of Vitalik, and then
Yeah.
you'll get the idea. It's him posing with I don't remember her name, but some girl.
Yeah.
The Asian girl.
That's why I started.
That's the one.
I saw that, but I didn't see much that was funny. He was just what he just looked like he was very stiff. Maybe I missed
Yeah.
something.
Oh, he was very stiff. Brinks, that was perfect. He was very, very stiff. He must have been nervous.
Oh.
I wasn't looking down there. I just meant like.
Yeah.
But,
I
like,
did it too. I was like, that's weird. She's all, and then he's all, and so I didn't think anything of it. I was like, all right, next. I was going through my news, and then Twitter feed, right? So you click on it, and then so they start popping up other things, right? You click.
It's big news, man. It's big news. It's probably the biggest thing in the crypto space.
But Pedro's gonna
Hey,
have
speak
to
for
send it to
yourself.
me. I can't
Hey,
find
speak
the
for
picture.
yourself. Oh, but I have to admit.
But I do have to get going in a couple minutes. Pedro.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for coming in, man. We appreciate you. Thanks for giving us up. Next time, man, let us know of some projects that you're looking at, that you're vetting, so we can kind of give it to our audience, have them check some things out. I know you're always looking.
Right
I
now,
know
I'm being a lot more cautious, just because, like,
please be cautious.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to be talking about many of the projects I'm looking at, unless, like,
they're for sure.
Because like that Triflex one I was telling you about.
Yep.
That one actually did pretty well, but thankfully, like, I think that they sat at like a 4x for a couple days, that then dropped down to a 2x after like 3 or 4 days when some of the vesting got released. But I haven't followed back up ever beyond that. But the chart looked decent for a while.
I want to bring up. So the way Better works is that it's a way to make money, right? So they post these projects that are basically either fair launches or whitelist launches, and even whitelist launches are becoming very few and far between. It's primarily fair launches. Fair launches is, we'll talk about this later another time, but I just want to bring this up. What Brinks does is he'll go through and he'll quick analysis, and so the way Better works is basically they'll get in on a project, okay, and then it will shoot up 5-10x. So if you put $100 in, you're going to see it jump to $500 to $1,000.
More like a 2x or more.
Okay.
Typically.
Okay, so we'll say
my personal average between like 10 projects is about a 16x. But that was because, like, I had one project that did, like, that just went crazy.
Parabolic.
Yeah. So that brought the average up. But like, if it wasn't for that project, it would probably have been closer to about a 1.5 to 3x.
Still, bro. I mean, like, if every time somebody took a trade from you, right, and they know to cut out within a day or two, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would have doubled.
Or at least like Rip FT, where they're just pulling out the initial
investment,
and so you can literally just make an entire portfolio of free tokens.
Yeah, and even throw more than that. I mean, even pulling, 120%, because you're doubling up your money. So, you basically leave, how much would that be? So you're 50, you would be doing pull out 60% of your portfolio, 70% of your portfolio, or
Mhm.
70% of your the portfolio. So basically, if let's say you put in $100, right, and it goes up to 200, right, pull out 120 or 130, right. So then you have those that extra $70 left in with coins. So if it decides to explode and it goes up to, let's say, I mean, like you said, some of your stuff was it Doge Elon, right? Or was it Elon Doge?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was Dogelon Mars.
yeah,
It
Doge launched.
was called Elon.
Yeah, you hit both, right? And I think what was it? It was like 20x, 30x, or something like that, right? That you got.
I don't fully remember. I put like the 300 in, including gas. No, I put like another 100 in due to gas because Ethereum.
Yeah,
And then
it got up to crazy.
and the all-time high that I cashed out that I did pull some profits on, but was about 2000, so maybe like 300, so like a foot for 5x,
4 or 5x, yeah,
6x,
6x.
yeah,
So
five and a half.
that's not a bad day,
Yeah,
right? Like,
but that wasn't like a quick one, like but like that one but was about 6 months, but it also did it within like a week, but to be able to sell it would have just been ridiculous, because when it had its first initial pump, where it went really crazy, but before it was on a centralized exchange, so you had to pay the ridiculous gas fee twice.
yeah,
Because because you had to pay the ridiculous gas fee just to activate Uniswap to let you sell it, and then you had to pay it again. But when you tried to sell it, so I waited till it got on to KuCoin. I just used one gas fee, sent it to KuCoin, and sold it that way. But I still have a decent amount. But like I still have the majority of the initial tokens I bought.
yeah, and you basically just took out what you put in, correct?
I took out 700.
So a little bit more.
So yeah, I took out my initial and then an extra 400 in profit.
That's not a bad setup. So these are just some of the
Yeah.
stuff that can actually happen in crypto by paying attention to DeFi and
I think it was actually you that put it on my radar that it was up that much. So thank you, because like you were like, dude, I wish I got in on this, and then I'm like,
yeah.
oh, I had that.
Yeah.
Look at the chart. Oh, wow, it's up a lot.
I think I was telling you sell off. I think I was telling you sell the whole entire thing, bro. Like cash out, wait for it to drop, because it basically had this type of
I try to like minimize my tax as well, and just like to have like more of a, but like I try to get free tokens pretty much, like if that makes sense. But like where I'm minimizing my tax for selling, and then like using the profits to buy the next thing, and then doing the same thing, pulling out the initial, so that I have a smaller tax liability, and I'm able to like diversify. And
let me rephrase that. When he means tax liability, he means U.S. Government tax.
Correct.
There you go. Sorry.
No problem. But I do have to get
No
going, Pedro. Get being here. Get catching up.
Thanks, sir. And I will see you tomorrow, correct? 11 o'clock, my friend. Is that right?
Sounds good.
All right, buddy. It's good seeing you. Joshua.
Good seeing you too. Bye.
Definitely, you too. Yeshua, how you doing, my friend?
I'm here just now starting my lunch break. Wish my lunch
I
break started at 11 so I can hop on earlier with you guys, but
no, man, it actually
it is what
fits
it is.
perfect. No, it's actually perfect because it allows us to be able to kind of go into a allows us to be able to look at the markets as a whole, and in addition to that, you are my chartist guy, so I know that you get off at 12. You have an opening from 12, and so I know we've gone over a couple things, so I know that we can definitely look at certain things regarding charts, right? And you're gonna be able to, you'll have a good analysis. You might even, have different analysis of what I do and be able to see certain things. So that's why I've actually set it up this way. So you are good.
Hmm. So smart. So smart.
I wouldn't say I'm smart. I had a friend of mine
Such
says,
a
he's like,
genius. Big wow.
who is a friend? A friend of mine says, "You're not smart. You're just clever." And I
Oh, there
was
you
just
go.
like, "Is there a difference?" Is like,
Oh,
like
yes. There's a
there, there,
difference.
there must be.
Because
I
you can
don't.
be smart and pretty dumb, but clever, you can be stupid and smart and still be clever.
I would agree with that. Yes, I would agree with that. So let's jump right into the chart analysis here real quick. S&P 500, we can see here that we are coming down into our area. We had a nice little reaction off of this area, came back, retested the 50-period moving average here on the daily, and looks like we are turning down here. So this is not a good thing. If we finish off with a doji in this area here, yes, I expect us to shoot through this level and to come down and test the 38.70 mark, or 38.17 mark. What are your thoughts?
We're on, man,
S&P
look at
500.
that. That S&P 500 is dipping pretty hard, huh?
Yeah, yes,
Got to pull
sir.
that up.
I
Man,
expect that thing to come all the way back down here. I do. I mean, my long term, and people maybe don't want to hear this, but I see the S&P. My throat is kind of maybe I should. Maybe that's God Almighty going.
is
Shut your mouth,
that
kid.
somebody choking you out?
I think he's trying to watch my back there.
You're going to
But
say something super, super bearish, like, oh, I see it coming on down to 1600, weren't you? That's what you're going to say.
you know what? My throat did kind of get choked out there. I'm going to keep my mouth. I'm going to let history tell itself what it's going to do.
There you
So,
go. There you go.
yeah.
It does have quite the downturn on the 4-hour chart, too. Like, what's going on there?
Yes, sir. That
Hmm.
4-hour chart is definitely looking very bearish. Bearish. Very bearish.
Yeah.
Yeah, came back, touched the setup, and just sold off here. We're touching that 8 moving average, as you guys can see, and we're coming down further. So we'll see what happens. I could be wrong, but I do see us moving down just because we have the seller wick right here, and that's it. That's really it. So it's starting to respect that 8. Your thoughts?
I don't have any cool moving averages like that, but we sure are pushing down, especially with man, hold up. Gotta X out of these ads. I still haven't paid for this. Yeah, the RSI, it's looking like it's a little oversold for me. So we might get a little turbulence here and potentially come back up a smidge, but I don't have all the cool markings over the last however many years we've been adding resistance levels and stuff to that chart to work with. Man. Yeah, I don't know. I think it might come back up a little bit. Might come up a smidge, but I don't know about long term. But that's on my 4-hour. Let's see, drop down slower.
Well, I see here also that we're hitting that 200 period moving average. It's definitely come down here for this weekly chart. So to me, this is really a more of an indicator that it will most likely continue down. If you look at the weekly chart,
Weekly.
yeah, if you look at the weekly chart, you'll see that we have more seller wick pressure, definitely pushing down, and we're in the middle of the week. So we had a little bit of a bounce off yesterday, and then today we're kind of going sideways, That's a
Mhm.
good way of looking at it. And now the fact is that we do have some pretty good seller wicks to drop down. So we'll see what happens. We might see a little bit of a push, but that 20 period moving average on the weekly here is definitely in control now. And so we can see here that it's starting to push. We have that 8 period moving average still sitting here. So once it starts to turn over and start to continue down, we'll see this continue down. So the next spot I feel is truly the 38.17 mark area here on the market. It's just some. Let's check out NASDAQ. NASDAQ is pretty similar. You can see that we have that 20 period moving average that is continuing down on the price. Look at the daily chart. It's a little bit different. Whereas we did come up and touch. We were not able to touch that 50 period moving average, but we did touch that 80 or the 89. And you can see here the 89 and the 50 is already crossing over here. So to me, it's another cross. Whereas with the NASDAQ, not so much. So these are indicators for me simply saying that, yeah, this is most likely going to continue even down further. You can see here that we have that 89 and 50 already crossed. We're going to see it continue down. The other biggest thing is that I want to look at is on the daily, we do not have a wick here. So that's one of my things I can see it's really starting to push down because we do not have a wick here. So on, excuse me, apologize about that, guys. I'm going to cough your guys' ear. But this is where I see us really continuing down into these levels with the NASDAQ. The next spot that I would say that we could see a bounce. Bounce with me, bounce with me, bounce with me. All right, guys, so you can see here real quick that this area here, right here, is definitely an area of support. We definitely saw it just rally here, but once it crashes through here, it's coming back down to this baby, these areas here, which is going to be that 11,400 to 10,000 area, guys. Pay attention to that. That is definitely area. And I know it sounds scary for a lot of people, but these are just buying opportunities for generation X, generation Y. You know what I'm saying? And I believe there are, I think some Z's are at 18, I believe. I believe some Z's are 8. I gotta go look that up. But if you guys are in this market, Generation Z, check that out, man. Boom. Buy the market. It's low. This is historical prices that we're gonna be able to start taking advantage of. So be paying attention to that. So then now let's jam to Bitcoin. All right, so Bitcoin, we've definitely been playing off of this zone. We, like I said, guys, once yesterday, we hit the 8 moving average and we had a sell off here. I definitely saw us coming, touching that 8 period moving average again and continuing down. So be mindful of that. Biggest thing that is a red flag for me saying that we are going to go down is that there really is no wick on the on Bitcoin here. So the next spot is for it to go touch this and now just slide right through. So if we're looking at the hour chart, there really isn't anything sitting here stopping us. So be mindful of that, guys. Be very mindful of that because the next spot is down here for 18,000. So we're coming back. We're touching this 18,000 again. So be ready to capture and be part of the turnaround here. So just giving you guys heads up on that. Let's check out the Ethereum network. So good old Vitalik. He's got, like I said, he's building one giant computer. Kid, I'm sorry, I apologize. But seriously though, he is building a good network, and that network is a strong network. It is basically he's got a computer. He's got one big computer that is really well And you can see here that people are in the buy, just like earlier today in the show. We talked about that Ethereum has pushed them from its lows almost 60%. So, or I think it was 60%. So it's a big. I think it's a big deal. Primary reason why I think it's a big deal is because as a what's the word I'm looking for? As an investor, as I'm looking at this, I definitely see us moving up in the long term with Ethereum, just because of the technology, right? Will Bitcoin ever go away? No, I don't think so. It's a good ledger for a way to be able to buy and sell with the Lightning Network and how they're setting everything up. It just makes sense, right? Like Bitcoin is going to be there for the long haul. And there's so many people who are multi-billionaires who make money off of it yearly, right, through the Lightning Network and other things by getting, residual income, which is through staking or through mining with Bitcoin. So it's a lot of cash there to be made and that they're making. So I don't ever see it going away. It might adopt, it may change, but it's not going away. So you can see here on the daily on Ethereum, again, this one did not put a wick in, but yesterday they did put a pretty good wick in. So get ready to see some ping pong in here, and I just gotta get ready for it. So that's just real quick and easy for you guys. Let's pull now to BNB here. BNB, as you guys can see, again, we hit that 8-period weekly moving average again. So it is definitely trying to push up here. We'll see what's going to happen. It's going to pull this up here. So we have that 20-period moving average, which is similar to what we've seen with the other charts. That 20 is holding. And we'll see what happens. We're in our zone right here on that weekly zone. So we'll find out if it decides it wants to move forward, right? But be paying attention here, because this is a crucial point here, right? If this decides to sell through and blow through these SMAs, okay, from BNB, then it's going to come back, retest, and then shoot down. And most likely it's not going to have one giant leg down here, okay? So it'll shoot down, get below here, put a big red candle like we saw last week, and then come back up, retest. Like you see, this is the example. You can see here, rally up, come back, retest, rally up, come back, retest. It follows a SMA or a EMA or whatever you use, but this is typically what it's going to follow. So it's important to be looking at that. And Josh, whenever you're ready, just let me know. I'll bring you in, buddy. All right. So the other thing I want to point out as well is, and this is important to look at those wicks, and you can see that there are sellers, right, that are pushing it down. There is some support here, so we are at the wick here where the buyers are trying to defend this area. We'll see what happens, but there are stronger sellers sitting here, so we'll find out towards the end of the day. Let's check out ADA here real quick. I'm loving it. Here we are. Come on. There we are. There we are, ADA. Here we go. All right, guys, so you can see with ADA that we definitely bounced off of our zone here on that weekly or on that daily zone, and now we are continuing up. The fact that we found support on this 8, I am more bullish, simply because the fact is that the next spot right here is to push up to this 20-period moving average. Okay, we do have resistance here at this level, I would say. So be mindful here, but we will most likely see this 20-period moving average coming into our area here. Let's check out that weekly 8 real quick to see if it's moved down a little. Yes, we have. Boom. So these are some of the areas that you can sit there and play this off of, going long from here, from the 45 to that 47 mark. So, and we are finding support on that 8-period moving average. You can see yesterday we did close above the 8 here. And so most likely when that happens, you'll find support on that moving average when that happens. So be looking for it to move up, with the caveat here. If we do not, right, we should see this at least come down to the lows here of yesterday's lows, okay? If it continues down, trying to find buyers, all right, we might do that. So this is always a little bit precarious when we're next to a doji, because you just don't know what it's going to do off of it. If it's a big long candle, it's most likely going to go up that candle, but we're not there, right? So we'll see what's up with that. Next, let's go ahead and check out, give me 1 second, XRP here real quick. There we go, XRP. All right, XRP right here. We are below the 8 moving average. You guys can see us. Like I said, we are following that 8 moving average. Came back, retested. Now it looks like it's just going to continue just, lower highs and lower lows, which is a dangerous thing because it's probably going to blow through this 29-cent mark area if it continues like this. If we see a big push down and a big push up, that's a different story. Something like this, right? Big push up, then pushes down, and then pushes up. This is going to look something like this. Boom, 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 boom. So be mindful of that. Continue your shorts on that, at least down into, I would say take your first real profit at that 31-cent mark, and the next one will be 29-cent mark as we move forward. Let's go ahead and look at Solana. All right, Solana here is unique, right? Just because, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that correlates with them. Let me bring you in. All right. Hey, bud.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
Guess
It's
who's
weird.
back?
If I get a phone call, it puts me all cattywampus, and I can't talk here, and I can't answer the phone. And it's a whole debacle.
I totally hear you. So I'm just talking about Solana here. Solana is always a little bit different just because there's a lot of stuff going on. But again, from the charting perspective, we are following that 8-period moving average. It's not as red, but again, just to point out, we do not have a demand wick. It needs to put in a demand wick. As you can see here, we have a similar situation going on. Came back, retested, no wick, and then what happened? And we saw the drop off on Friday. Now, I don't think it's going to drop off like this. I think it might put in a couple more like this before we see the drop off on Friday, because we do have the jobs or unemployment report. We have all the crazy reports this week. So that's where we're going to sit there and see what we're looking at. So it's going to be really interesting to find out what happens at the end of the week. So which is in basically 2 days. Go ahead.
Yeah, those when those reports come out, whatever the market seems like it's supposed to be doing, it could very well do the exact opposite over that news. So we might be sitting here saying it's going to go a little bit lower, or, it's breaking resistance, but this Friday could come out and some crazy news can break, and then everything we've said is null and void because they say they're going to print, X, Y, and Z, or something crazy happens. So.
Well, but I also want to say like this, though. We've seen the Fed really, they just almost feel like I feel like they really just don't care about the market, care more about inflation. And so anything that is not as less bad news might push the market up. But I don't see that happening, just primarily because we're not at any levels here. We're not at any institutional levels. Right, like with the S&P 500. So typically, if we're at institutional levels, and where that's when you typically see the flip around and turn up. If we're not at those institutional levels and negative comments sometimes come out, it'll drop. So that's why you see that. It's just based off the level that we're near, right? We've seen with Jim Cramer how he talks about, oh, it's at a really, really low point. He needs certain things. But if it's in between and he's trying to look just for an intraday turnaround in the market, he's going to cause for smaller reports. So it's just, anyways, it doesn't really matter. Just look for it. I'm going on the minutia of things. But this right here is you just want to see here that we're not necessarily near any major institutional level. So I think they're going to continue it down even further.
But yeah, I still have that marked as coming on down quite a ways if it keeps pushing. 27? 27 is what I have marked. I don't know why I have 27 marked, but it's marked.
That's about right.
I checked it at one point. 20, yeah. What does it say? 2702. I don't know why. That might have. I really need to get better at locking these resistance levels in because I accidentally click them while I'm scrolling, and then it's like, some hard work just all gone because I moved a bar. It's really frustrating.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I was gonna say you have to know what I'm talking about. Where you're like, oh man, I went from 8-hour chart to a 1-hour chart, and now you got to zoom in and expand, and you're like scrolling through, and then all of a sudden you grab a bar and move it, and you're like, oh, jeez, come on, man, like come on, stupid. Yeah, it's a good time.
And if we do look at Solana here, monthly here, because we're near the month's end here, you can see here that I see it's coming down to this area, honestly, to the 26 mark. I think we'll see if we do come out with some negative stuff. I do see it coming down to this 26 area from the 31, pretty quick. If right now we're having some resistance here because of certain aspects, but once it's basically waiting, it's waiting for the news so that they can give you a real reason why the market dropped. So that's it in a nutshell. Let's look at some Doge.
Ooh, Doge, People's Coin.
People's Coin. On the monthly chart here, we can see that we did have that sell-off here off of that 20-period moving average on that weekly. We do have that 50 moving average on the monthly sitting here, but we did sell off against this. So like I told you guys early in the month, as we're pushing up, I do see it selling off. This is the reason why, because it pushes off in the beginning, most likely it will sell off in the end. Not always, right? But typically if the majority of institutional indicators are telling us it's a bearish market, they'll typically want to do the opposite in the beginning so that they can bring in the suckers so they can flip it on them. So it's one of those things that I've told you this, So be mindful of that. I do see Dogecoin now really coming down into these low levels of 6, 5, also 3 cent area, guys. So if we finish off this month like this, in the beginning of the month, we'll see it shoot up, right? And then we'll see it then drop into maybe first week of September. Everything is all based off of the S&P 500, which is based off the Fed as well as earnings. So that's an important thing that we realize. That's what's coming up. We have earnings, and if we have really, really bad earnings this September, which I think we're going to, I don't see a lot of people on the roads. I don't see a lot of people using gas, right? I don't see people really buying stuff in even the grocery stores. It's weird. I'm seeing extra stuff. Like we had a ton of meat. We had a ton of, everything's full, right? So things aren't flying off the shelf as they used to. So
that's because it's expensive up there where you're at.
It is. So I don't know. We'll see. I'd love to hear your guys' views on where you guys are at. If you drop them in the comment, let me know where you're at. What is the price of bread? What is the price of gas, bread, milk, rice, and what's the other thing that people use a lot? Peanut butter and jelly people use
Ooh.
PB&J as a go-to. So love to know what you guys pay in that. Yeah, guys. So this is not looking really strong. The fact is that we're putting in a doji on the week here, which is setting up for a sell-off coming up here. So that's not a good sign here. And then right here, you can see that we're definitely playing off that 8-period moving average, and looks like it's going down. Let me see here real quick. Boom. Yep. 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Yeah, I got us pushing down a little bit harder on the Doge charts.
Yeah, I definitely do see it, man. I see us really do moving down. So,
But also not a whole ton of volume either right now.
yeah,
It's really sad looking.
It's gonna be really interesting to see what happens in September as institutions come back from the Hamptons and come
Oh,
back
yeah.
from, because are they going to get into crypto? Are they going to get into these major things that we're going to see it? So it's going to be really fun to see what happens. So next, let's check out go ahead.
I was going to say, you need to give me like a predetermined list so I can just, so you can be like, all right, next we have, and then I can just move on to the next one.
Oh, right here. I'll send it to you right now.
You got like a list.
Yes, I will send this to you right now, my friend. Actually, I'll put them in our private list right here, so you'll be able to click to. Okay. Boom. It's in the private chat that I'm sending this.
Okay.
Boom. So, you know what? And also, in case if that messes you up, does that mess you up if you flip to that?
Oh, I can't exit out of this. Once
right,
I'm in StreamYard, I'm in StreamYard until I leave.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm trying to think. You're in StreamYard.
I'll be able to use it. I'll be able to use it for next time. We got to be more than halfway through. We probably only got a couple more left, right?
We've got actually quite a few. So we've got about 10. So we'll cut through these real quick because we're coming up to an hour, and I know that I want to honor you too because I want to make sure that you have time. So let's go into this real quick. So DOT here real quick. We're selling off on that 8-period moving average. You can see that we tested it, put in a seller wake. Again, we don't see a buyer wake within today's candle here. So again, this is telling me we want to move down. This wants to move down. We might see another one come up into Thursday before we want to move down. But I do see that 626 area at least. And then we'll see some resistance or we see some support here, but then we're going to see it move back, see it come up a little, and then drop back down to this 489 area, guys. That's what I'm looking at. Matic, my friend. This is where I want to get to. Let's check out Matic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Matic,
so, USDC.
Now, if you look, we have the 8 underneath us. So this is really unique. We had that doji, and I said, guys, so be careful, or we don't know, but it's finding support on that 8-period moving average. Now, I wouldn't call it true support there, but I would sit there and say, though, that we are ping-ponging off of the 20 and 50 crossover. So if this comes down later today, hits the buyers down in the previous day's wick, okay, and then comes up and rallies a little, and we see another doji up in this area, I do see it's coming back and retesting the 20, because the 20 the next day will be down in here. So I do see it's come back and test that 20. We potentially could come back up into this area right here with Matic.
Yep.
If we do close Matic, then we're probably going to rally up even more after this junctional point. So it's just something that you need to be paying attention to, making sure that that you're mindful of this.
You're using 20. I'm using 25. If we can close another candle and test out the 25 and come back down a smidge, our return up should, in theory, it might take a while, might take a couple days, but from the day chart, we should easily come back up and tap tap out that dollar mark again, potentially higher. The higher would depend on the market too,
Okay.
because it could easily be Friday before we have where it starts turning around and starting to come up a little bit. But that's what I got marked up on mine. But mine would be like a long-term play. I'm on a 1-day chart, so it could take a week to play out what I'm thinking is going to play out back to $1 or more. It can take more.
Yeah, I don't see us coming back up to $1. I honestly think we're gonna sell off here, but I think we're in an interesting thing. I don't know. I do think that we're coming down to that 68, 67 mark area. Yeah.
I like I said, I'm still a little ways out from touching my moving average that I need to touch. But if we can touch it and then we test it real good, we should have a mild ride up. I say mild, but going up to $1 is a pretty stout ride.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it has it in it. We'll find out if it does, but yeah, I think it first needs to come down to these lower levels to get more buyers.
Let's see. I'm going down to a lower chart. Yeah, see, my lower chart says other things. My lower hours say that we could go down a little bit further. Ooh, I don't know. I guess time will tell. That's why we do these, right?
Yes, sir. Time will tell. But I am more bearish on this level here, guys, than I am bullish in regards to Matic. Actually, I'm just bullish all around in the market, so that actually might be just influencing me. But it's been working, so just saying. Shib. Let's check out Shibbity Shib. All right, Shib is Shibbity Shab. Shib. Shib. Go ahead. So yeah, Shib. I was gonna say. Go ahead. Sorry, go.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just saying, let me load it up so I can take a look with you.
Okay. So SHIB is sitting at this level here where it is. I don't understand why that was even moved. My 8-period moving average, but SHIB is sitting. It couldn't come up to that. We saw a lot of the other markets come up and touch that 20-period moving average on the weekly. SHIB wasn't even able to do it. It tried to, but it couldn't, right? So we couldn't even lick the top of the moving average here. We basically pierced the 8 and then now starting to see a sell-off into the month. So if we look at that monthly, it even looks worse, right? Like we came up, touched the 8, and now we're continuing down. So to me, I personally think that this thing is coming down to this 8.3 mark. 6.083 to 9.06 area. So, guys, we'll be looking for those areas here. I do see us. I think we're going to blow through my area here at the 12 to 10, or excuse me, the 11.44 to 10.99. I think we're going to blow through that area and come to the lower ones. That's what I think because of the huge seller work that we see on the monthly chart. What are your thoughts, Josh?
Yeah, I'm pretty much tracking right behind you. I see a little bit of a sell-off coming if everything keeps up. It depends on this volume, though. Really, I mean, I'm trying to get better at watching that volume. The volume's kind of died out. We did have some serious buy pressure a couple of days, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 2 weeks ago. But ever since then, it's pretty much been a steady downturn. I don't imagine it's going to hold very well, especially with this current market. Like I would venture to say that it's going to dip down. I don't have any markings on this chart. I don't watch SHIB all too closely. But if I were to guess, it's coming down. I mean, to the 107 range, maybe further. Depends on. There's also a terrible chart I'm looking at, but yeah, I'd say 107 range. If it blasts past that, it's pretty much going to be a free fall. But of course, that also depends on how everything else in the market does. If nothing else takes too hard of a downturn, it might kind of save SHIB a little bit from falling into complete despair.
Agree. I agree. Oh well, I think we're coming down even further. I think honestly that 9.783 area at least, potentially down into the 6.8 area. Just because,
Ooh.
yeah, people don't want to hear
We
that.
just lost followers. Yeah, we just lost followers. Way to go.
Yeah, well, you know what? If y'all can't handle the truth, at least what I'm seeing, and y'all have known, like when I call these prices, like they go there.
Mike's never coming on and helping ever again. You know he's a
Yeah,
big.
Mike's
You know he's a big ship guy, man. He's
right.
never coming back. He's like, great,
Yeah.
Pedro. God, what a bear. He's never coming back.
Yeah, he'll be back. Just to point out here as well, we're definitely seeing on the 4-hour period a continuation down. We've touched the 400 pair moving average here now a few times. You can see there's some of it. It found support here, but then we sold off of that 8, so couldn't even get above that 8, which was not even really trending. So I am definitely bearish, at least down to the 1144 in the short term. I would be shocked if by the end of the week we're not at this level here. So we'll see what happens there, though. Next,
Tron.
Tron to Tron. Dude.
Yeah.
So I was reading and listening to a news article regarding off of a Decrypt, daily Decrypt they go over. And he was saying that I guess they were bragging. Tron was bragging about how they, their energy consumption usage is basically, I guess, 8 homes worth of energy usage, right? What
Mhm.
8 homes were produced. And they're like, yeah. And then the guy goes quiet. He goes, but who uses Tron as a network?
I mean, is he? Can you spot the lie? I don't. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I can't sit there and be like, I know I don't use them.
Right.
I don't think that there's a ton of people that are using them to launch coins and stuff like that, right? It's just so.
Yeah, Tron's not really the one that nobody in my close circle has really ever brought up. I think the only time that I check the Tron stuff is here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Now, don't be offended, people, that I said I don't know anybody. I just don't. I don't know anybody that's using Tron.
Yes. Just throw that out there. We are bouncing off that 20 period moving average here on the daily, or excuse me, 400. I thought we're at the daily real quick. Check out the daily. We're bouncing off of actually finding resistance above us at the 8 moving average. So I do see us going, like I said, if we go below this black line here, this typically is going to be a line in the sand that basically says that we're going lower. So you can see here, guys, we did retest the 20 pair moving average. Now it's looking like it's starting to continue down. So I do see Tron coming down to these lower levels, which I've talked about already, the 4-cent mark, the 3-cent mark. So be ready for that sell-off, guys, when that comes. AVAX. You want to go to AVAX, or do you have something to say about Tron?
I have not a whole bunch to say about Tron. I'm scrolling through it right now, looking at stuff, looking for some indicators, but I don't have anything too concrete to be able to make a good assumption on.
That's all good.
What are we doing?
We can talk about AVAX here. So AVAX, it did hit our zone here. We saw a bit of a retracement, or not retracement, a bit of a bounce off this level. It's a weekly level, so we did see it kind of rally up to the 20-cent mark or $20 mark from where we're sitting in our zone. The biggest thing here is that we'll see it on the daily. Is that we hit that 8 period moving average, and we're putting in wicks, right? So to me, like I said yesterday, rally it up to the 8 period moving average, and once we come into it, get out. Capture your profits and look to go short, right? I do see us, even though we're here, The next level is that $11, $10 area. So, so that's important to be paying attention to, right? Is in this level of bouncing off that 8-period moving average and selling off into the $11, $10 mark. Any thoughts, my friend?
Ooh. Yeah, I'm looking right now. We're like one candle off from what I would be looking for a bullish sign on AVAX.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. But it doesn't quite meet those standards, so that takes my whole calculations and throws it in the trash. I've tried to be like, well, it's only one candle off. I mean, it's close enough, and then I just get wrecked. So I'm just we're gonna sit with hard no.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can mark. Let me see. What is it? This guy. Yep. No, it cuts through other candles. Wah wah wah. Otherwise, I would say we'd be bullish and we'd be looking at going back up 21, 22, maybe higher. But yeah, no, right now we're dwindling volume. It was oversold a couple days ago. Was that? No, sorry, I'm on 4 hour. So 2 days ago, it was oversold, it looks like, but we made a little recovery back to the moving average. So best case scenario, we stay here for another day or two, but we'll probably come back on down and test that 18 and some change range.
Nice. You guys, but the biggest thing is that we're following that 8-period moving average really strong. So the seller wicks here are important to be paying attention to, because it will most likely continue at least to the area of 18-ish area. But I do see it coming down. It ate up. So it's going to dwindle through this. Actually, I don't even think that's going to happen. I think it's going to just, because of the reason why is because of these, they're establishing their orders here. And then once they have established their orders, they're going to gun it, and they're just blah. So AVAX here, it's a good thing. But look, the reason why I say is look at the volume. We had a big volume day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then another big volume day.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a sell off. So that's definitely why I'm more bearish when I look at that. So in comparison to the previous time of volume, right? These type of days you can see right here. Look at these days right here. Look, and there were less volume here than this. Look, right? And you have the same type of volume, actually more volume here, but it's barely pushing up, right? And then you're having big fat seller wicks. So those to me are important indicators, right? For me. So, but hey, we're all different.
That's right.
Let's look at
That's what makes
Leo.
it fun.
It does make it fun. It does.
Leo.
One second. Leo. Again, Leo is still pushing up. This is insanity, man. Yeah. I'm just shocked to sit there and see. I was bearish on this. And we pushed through. Was I bearish or bullish? I need to start writing on these things, saying if I'm bearish or bullish. But dude, this is nuts. Like, this is nuts. I don't know who is doing this, but I need to actually go read their white paper and see what's going on with it, because they literally are defying the market. I mean, look at this.
They're kind of on their own program right now. You're talking about Leo. You're talking about Leo, right? Is that,
yes.
Or yeah.
Look at them.
I was just looking at this going, look at that. It's something different to look at.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like we could technically just go in depth with Bitcoin and Ethereum and pretty much nail most of the market.
Yeah. I mean, Leo's going on.
Except for Leo.
Yeah, except for Leo, man. I should have bought in at that 470 mark.
Don't talk like that.
I know, right? I know, I
Don't
know.
talk like that. That's how you screw yourself into FOMOing in.
Yeah. Uh,
Look, if it's coming up and the rest of the market's going down, all right,
yeah,
it's only a
yeah.
matter of time before Leo
For it
corrects
turns. Yeah,
and you
yeah.
get yourself a nice little buy-in.
Yeah. Thank you. Look at that. Common sense rolling out. There we go. All right, let's jump.
There's a lot of people bearish though. I'm on
Yeah.
Coin Market Cap, and all the comments on the side are saying I'm super bearish on Leo. It's weird.
That's silly. It might just be that people are hating. They
Maybe.
catch you hate it. You remember with Moonrock, man, we were
Oh my
screaming,
gosh.
and we had people like just trying to hate on us, like the most silliest thing. I was in there going like, why are they hating on us? It didn't even make sense to
People
me.
hate success.
I just don't understand that, man. I
I
don't
don't
get
either.
it, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, so there is really nothing here to keep it from continuing up. There are some, so we have a seller wick right here, but there's a lot of, there's this right here.
Yeah, it's gonna keep on climbing.
It really is. It's really climbing. Like this is, I'm impressed with Leo, like legitly impressed. So we have a zone within a zone here, guys. The next real spot is right here. If we see a turnaround or even just a stop and pause, you know what I'm saying? And the thing that they're doing this is they're doing this on low volume. It's not like they have a ton of volume. It's only 124,000 trades. The volume isn't really huge. So
I
it's
wonder if
not,
something happened. They burned or
maybe. I need to go through read their white paper. I need to see what's going on
yeah,
with these
I need to
guys.
figure out what's going on.
That's important.
That is weird if the volume does not match
Yeah.
very well. I mean, I know that it can still go up with low volume, but I mean, if anything, that adds to the strength of the climb, right? If there's
Yeah.
a bunch of volume and it skyrockets, there's a huge chance that volume turns right back around. But if there's no volume and the value's still climbing, that's a little bit more of that's a little better of a glue to keep the price in spot.
I just got to find out what's going on with these guys. I should go and connect to their Telegram and see what's going on with them. That's really interesting.
Infiltrate.
Really, not just infiltrate, but I'd love to be able to bring some of their guys on. Like, listen, I'd love to have you on here and just talk about your project and understand what you guys are doing different to actually defy the market. That would be dope if we could actually bring on anybody like that. We'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and check out real quick. The next one,
Uniswap.
Uniswap.
After Uniswap, I'm gonna have to go ahead and hop off.
Definitely.
I got some cards stacking up over here. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's go ahead and Let's go to Uniswap here real quick.
Uni's looking sad too.
Yes.
What's going on there?
Dude, coming up, dude. It's just coming up. It's hitting that 20 period moving average, and then now you can see here that we on that daily, guys. We are hitting the 8 moving average and coming down. That we did, like you said, we barely put even a small little wick here. I see it. It's just setting up for a sell-off. That's just what it is. It's setting up for a sell-off.
Yep.
So there's that.
That is kind of bad. Well, it is Uniswap. It is like the biggest DEX, So they, with a grain of salt, right? Because only a couple days ago it was up at the $9 mark. So
yeah, I was about to say it's the same thing, right? So I see this 3-cent mark is not a bad area to be purchasing it, guys, or even shorting it from here all the way down to that. I think your first target definitely should be the $5 mark. Second target needs to be down in the $4, and then the $3 mark here would be your third. And then just basically leave maybe 10% of your position in it and see what happens. See if it pushes through even further. If you want to decide to add on, I would decide to add on a retracement back into this zone, which we will see a wick over here where it sells off, right? We'll see a wick and then push up, drop, push up, and then you'll see it touch this. By that time, we'll see the 8 moving average that it'll get up and touch. So it's typically what I see happening.
And when I put in my buy orders, I'm going a penny up. I'm weird about that. I never do even numbers. So if you're putting in a buy order at $5, I do 501 just to cover myself, because there's been times where I put it at an even number like that, and the price came down and tapped it, but didn't. Everybody else's orders got filled up nice and fast, and I got left behind and missed my dip. So I always jump up a number or two just to make sure that I get that buy order before everybody else.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you. It's
hashtag pro tip.
Hashtag pro tip. I love it. All right, my friend. Thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. And listen, 11 o'clock tomorrow, 12 o'clock tomorrow. Come on in. Love to have you, my friend.
Yes, sir. I will do what I can to hop in and help out.
Excellent.
I will talk to you tomorrow.
Talk to you tomorrow. Have a blessed day, friend. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and finish off last little bit. Let's check out. Litecoin here real quick. Litecoin. Come on. I don't have it. LTC. Similar, same setup how we see it, guys. You can see here that we are definitely in that 8-period moving average. There is no seller wick here coming down to the 49 area to 49, 47 area here. Be ready for that sell-off. Let me put in that weekly. Yep, it looks the same. So next one, let's check out. Cosmo here. Cosmo is basically hitting the seller area right here on that weekly. So we came and hit the seller area. We are showing some strength on that week. So it's definitely a little bit different. I definitely expected this to sell off down into this level here for this week, simply because, well, you have a big seller wick. But the week is not over. We are retracing into this level and starting to put in this seller wick. So be ready if we do start to trend down, guys, to capture it at least down to here. All right, guys, let's jump on that daily here. Daily. We'll see what happens. There's nothing really trending except for be mindful of that 50-period moving average here. We have caught it a few times, so it might come back, turn around, touch it to capture new buyers, to push it back up. If this does not, and we see a continuation down into our 4 or 6-4 area, be mindful of it, but be looking for it to touch this area and then sell off, because I don't see it holding. The reason why is, look at all that sellers. There's a ton of sellers right here, and then the buyers really didn't. Even though we pushed it up, they didn't push it up much, right? So sellers are starting to step back in. So at least we're gonna come back and touch this 955 area, if not further. All right, guys, and let's go ahead and look at Near here. Now, Near was asked for me to look at as well. Oh, come on. Here we are. So you guys can see here and see this real quick on that monthly chart here. We're definitely hitting, we're not actually hitting nothing. That's really interesting. Just on a monthly chart, though, you'll see here, guys, we're definitely putting in the seller wick here. So I do see it dropping down here. On a weekly chart, we are finding resistance on that 8-period moving average with no wicks on the previous week and this week for buyers. So I do see us selling off here, even going into further lows here. So that's really what I see. And we are putting in a seller wick on the daily here with no buyer wicks. So yeah, at least coming down to these levels right here on that daily. That's it. Let's check out some seller. There we go. There you guys have it. Boom. In between the areas here. All right, guys. So next, let's go ahead and check out the next one. Crow, or not Crow. Oh, that's great. Let's go ahead and go right here. We're going to do link here real quick. There it is. Similar to what everything else is doing. We're following that 8-period moving average. No buyer wick guys here. So again, I do see us going further down to at least this area first. But even these have been traded through. I don't really see it holding if we do have a sell-off. I don't see any of these holding. I see it's coming down to this area here. If we have a sell-off, coming back testing, and then drop back down to this 4.5 area, the $4.05 area. So that's it. Let's check out Crow here real quick. Crow is similar. Not anything of a change. Coming back, we tested that 8-period moving average, and we aren't really putting any buyer wick here. So we are sitting. This is similar to everything else. Again, guys, put in that we have no buyer wick. We're in a doji. Might see a little bit of a jump off of this area here, but we're just kind of going sideways, waiting for the reports. Let me pull in Crow. Very quick. Link Crow XMR. XMR right here. Price predictions here. Now here is this. I was talking with somebody regarding Monero or Monero, and he was saying that this is basically truly one of the truest DeFi coins out there. That they truly do. It's a DeFi system where you can't be tracked, where people can't be tracked and handled. So it's very interesting that this area right here is where we're sitting. Reason why is it's well, everything else is different, right? Like when we look at the charts, right? Charts don't look like this. I mean, we'll just pull up a common one right here, right? We'll just say XRP, right? Like this is what it looks like, right? This is basically what everything. We're down at the lows, right? Whereas you can see here we're not. We're holding here in between this ping pong status here. So it's just really interesting to see where we're sitting. 8 period moving average, we hit this area here. Now we're starting. I mean, we're buying. I mean, we sold off. Now it's pulling back up. We're ping ponging here on the weekly. Really interesting. This is another project that's really interesting to me. I do want to wait to buy this at a lower level for myself, right? You can sit here and see that this is a really, really unique area. Really unique area. Wow. Yeah, guys. They're pretty strong. Yeah, not strong as in like Leo strong, but I think there's something weird going on there, right, with Leo. But when I check out like the volume on this, this is fairly decent. So we'll see what happens here. Let's check out. This is one that somebody wanted me to look at again. Let me jump back. There we go. Crow XRM XLM. This is weak here, you guys. Very weak. Very, very, very weak. You can see that we're at the lows here for XLM. Coming down to the 7-cent mark is most likely what's going to happen here. As the week progresses, if they come out with really negative news and we see a market sell-off, that's what this is going to look like. It's going to come down to here. So from the 10-cent mark to the 7-cent mark, be looking to maybe purchase some of the stuff back in this area here. And then after that, if we see it, it's going to push through, come back, retest, and then come back further into and put in a new leg in. So that's price prediction for XLM. Go here real quick. Algorand. I think we already went over it, but I'll check it out again. Same look. Let me see with everything else. You can see we're hitting that 8-period moving average. Put the big seller wick in on the daily, similar to what we're seeing with everybody else. And let's check out VET. Similar. Sorry guys, I'm just same thing. We're following that 8 moving average. See it like for me, I personally think we're going to sell through all this area here real quick and come down and test this 1 cent mark versus the 2 cent mark. So that's it. And then we'll do Sands and Mana. I know we went over them yesterday. We'll just check them out again today. This is actually showing a little bit more weakness. As you guys can see, we're starting to get a stronger sell-off here. Check out the 4-hour period moving. So yeah, it's definitely putting in another seller. Oh, this is more or less not really following any trend here. It's just more or less just kind of going sideways. Lower highs, higher lows. So it's just consolidating. We'll see what it decides it wants to do. But I feel like we are top heavy here, right? So I feel like it's going to come down even further. And then we're going to see Mana. Same thing, guys. The only difference here is we're actually above that 8-period moving average and putting in buyer wicks, even more so. So that to me shows more of strength coming into Mana. Pretty basic. Let's check out that. Oh, sorry. My bad. I was looking at the 4-hour. I wasn't looking at the 8-hour. Yeah, I got, not the 8-hour, but the daily. Yeah, same thing. It's the same picture, just a different name. And let's see where my price stuff. Yeah, I say 51 cent from the 78 cents. So yeah, be ready for that sell-off, guys, into this area. Alrighty, that's it in a nutshell. Thank you guys for coming to today's show. I know it was a little long today. I'm trying to bring in gas and have more people come in. My hopes is that if you guys could like, subscribe, and share my content out there, let people know that, the market, what's going on with the market, and pricing. I don't know if other people do what I do, but I try to take care of it, looking at the charts for you guys and kind of price things into it. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, please hit me up. You can find me at Moonrock Official. I put the links in on some of my last videos. I'll put it in here again. Come and ask me questions. I've had a few of you guys hit me up and ask me to look at certain projects from a charting perspective, and that's what I'm here for you guys. All right. This is where you guys can find me within the crypto world. Thank you so much for your time, guys, and I look forward to hearing from you. Talking to you guys soon. Many blessings.